You look great.
Thank you.
You really do. I mean, you're styling always.
Thank
You
you.
know. And do you pick all this out, or does somebody pick it out for you?
I mean, I just, yeah, there's just sort of, I got a friend of mine who goes and buys all this. She's got incredible taste, and she goes and buys all this stuff and sort of knows my take on things, and yeah, and then we just sort of snatch it out of the closet, you know.
Yeah, you got a good eye, though. You know.
Well, I got one good eye anyway.
Well, what happened to the other one?
Since birth, he's been weird.
Now, I did some reading, and I'm going to talk to you a lot about the movie, but I did some reading, and there's some things that I didn't know about Johhny Depp, and I thought it'd be fun to sort of start this.
Clue me in.
That way. Well,
I'm not sure I know them.
I think you probably do. Is it true that you have a nickname, Mr. Stench?
Oh. Okay, Mr. Stench. Mr. Stench was a name that I used to, it was an alias that I stayed under in hotels. And the gig was that any time you could come up with an interesting name to stay, in terms of an alias to stay under, you try to think of these things and make them as weird as possible, just because it was really fun. And you'd start your day with a smile. You get that wake-up call in the morning, you know, at 6, going, okay, it's time to wake up, Mr. Stench. And also, when you hear it in foreign accents as well, it makes it even better. So yeah.
What does it sound like in French?
Monsieur Stench, Monsieur Stench. But I've also been in French. This was a great one, Monsieur Poupy. Monsieur Poupy. Yeah.
Now, did Monsieur Poupy or Mr. Stench have a first name?
In those instances, no, just Mr. Stench, yeah.
And what about another one that I heard about, Colonel?
Colonel, that's a title that was bestowed upon me by Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah,
Wow.
Hunter, we were both born and raised mostly in Kentucky. He was born in Louisville, I was born in Owensboro, and he promised me at one point, he said, I'm going to make you a Kentucky Colonel. Which apparently is not a difficult thing to do, but he did it, and from that point on, he always addressed me as Colonel Depp. Yeah.
Now, has this stuck with anybody else, or just with Hunter?
Oh yeah, no, with his gang. I mean, with all the people that we used to hang around together. I mean, I still get these kind of calls and go, Colonel, we have to do this and we have to do that. So yeah, Colonel just kind of stuck.
And something I learned today from your director, Rob Marshall, that you are one heck of a dancer. I'm just saying.
He just says that to try to make me feel good. I don't
No, and he said that you were going to say, oh, no, he's just giving me a compliment.
Yeah.
But he said that you really are a good dancer.
I find that really, really right up next to impossible to believe. Because, I fear dancing.
You fear it?
I actually fear it.
Why?
Because it's one of those things. I can appreciate it from a distance, and the expression of it and all that, and the form. But I fear it because it's just so odd, the idea of it for me. I never. Even when I was a little kid, going to school dances and stuff like that, never did I dance. Never, not once.
Not once?
No, couldn't do it.
But you danced in this film with Penelope.
Yeah.
A little dance.
Yeah, but I was, sort of forced to. There was really, and also it was Penelope, so we had a good laugh for sure. But and Rob and John were terrific in terms of the choreography because, at the very least, it was a sort of drunken dance.
That's true.
That
and
helps.
choreographing those action scenes is a lot like dance. So you
Most
were
definitely.
very, very good at that. So is that mostly you in those action scenes?
Oh yeah, the sword fighting and all that stuff is the majority of it is all of us. It's the actors, and certainly there are some bits that they use the stunt doubles and then they plug you in, somewhere along the line, but because it's too much to learn. But
tough to do though.
It is tough to do, but I like it. I've always enjoyed it. I love fencing, and so getting in there to do that is really wonderful. But also when you got someone like Penelope, who also she does have a background in dance, and she came in and just, especially with her belly and stuff, she was unbelievable. What a trooper.
Well, let's talk about that, Belly, because she, from what I understand, was really offering to back out of the film when she found out that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a 5-second conversation and everybody said, no, we're going to make this work.
Definitely.
Were you thrilled that she stayed on?
Of course. I mean,
Were you worried, though, with her being pregnant a bit?
No, not at all. No, I thought it would just. I mean, you know, there are ways around. You know, when the belly starts to grow, you know, you just bring the camera in tighter and stuff. I knew it would be fine from the first second she told me. So yeah, no, I never had a moment of worry, and she was, boy, she was just game for everything. She was, you know, she was really terrific.
I mean, you obviously on the screen, from what I saw, you're still. I mean, you got it. You're comfortable in his skin, in Jack Sparrow's skin. You made it fresh again. Was that hard for you to do, or was it just a piece of cake?
I mean, you know, any film is hard, but I mean, I have to say, no, you know, it wasn't all that difficult. Just with regard to my relationship to with the character, you know, I feel like I know him really, really well now, and.
Do you like him?
Oh, I adore him. You know.
Favorite character?
Right up there for sure.
With
right up there. Boy, you know, you'd have to, and maybe Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, you know, somewhere in there.
Nice.
But the thing with old Captain Jack is that it just kind of happens organically, you know. It just sort of, you're there, it clicks, and there's, I feel like the possibilities are endless, you know. You never run out of, I never, as the character, never run out of things to say, never run out of bits of absurdity or irreverence that I can get myself into, and it's sort of a wonderful kind of never-ending, you know, circle.
Yeah.
It's a gas.
Your kids must love the fact that you're part of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, do they think you're the coolest dad?
Well, I hope they do.
Not because of that, though.
No, I just hope they do in any sense. But they do, yeah, they do love Captain Jack, and what's great is they're of the age now. You know, my boy is 9, and my girl is about to turn 12, and what's great now is they can really experience it. They were with me for the majority of the shoot, and they were on set for the majority of the shoot, so they really got to experience it firsthand. So they're very close to this one, especially.
But Jack, your son, was more enamored with Iron Man, though, at one point. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, there was an evening. Bob Downey, who you know, we've known one another for a million years, and.
I like how you call Robert Downey Bob.
Yeah, you know, we sort of came up the ranks together, you know, in a weird way, back in the '80s and stuff, and he's someone I've always admired, and we've had a, you know, good relationship, and he came over one evening for dinner. He and his wife came for dinner, and my son was just like, you know, sitting. He couldn't believe that he was sitting next to Iron Man. You know, and so I saw Captain Jack leave my son's eyes, you know, and Iron Man was the ticket.